Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at a couple new 3¼ inch scale Star Wars figures from Hasbro. Now, all of these figures are based on the Star Wars Rebels animated series. We're going to take a look at the new Sabine Wren figure, the new Kanan, Jarus, and Stormtrooper disguise figure, and the new 2-pack that features Darth Maul and the Seventh Sister Inquisitor. Now, all of these figures come packaged in the same style packaging we've been seeing with Star Wars product for this year. It has the Rogue One theme with the Death Trooper helmet up in the corner. You've got artwork for each of the characters off to the side and the names of the characters. Then on the back of the packaging, you have an advertisement for Hasbro's Studio FX application, and then you have a brief bio for each of the figures. All right, let's get these open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside the packaging along with their other contents. So first we'll take a look at the action feature accessories that each figure comes with. These are things that you don't really ever see in the cartoon. They're really for younger kids. And again, they each have kind of like a little action feature. So this comes with the Kanan figure, and it's kind of a disc thrower. So you've got this little plastic blue disc, and what you can do is basically push this little handle and it fires the disc off into the air. So it's, again, kind of made for the younger kids. And then you can put it on the figure. Basically, he can stick his arm through and he'll hold it on his arm like that. Next, Sabine comes with the zip line feature, which has just the string, and you've got the 2 hooks on the end of the string, and then you've got this handle piece that will slide across the string. And so what it is once you hook up the strings, then you can have the figure grab this. You've got to use the right arm on Sabine because it's the only straight arm. Her left arm is actually bent. And so what you want to do is stick the right arm up through there and then have it grab onto this little handle. Otherwise, it'll just slide right back out. Once you string up the strings on something, then you can have her slide across the rope. Darth Maul comes with this missile pack. So what you want to do is they give you these 2 translucent plastic missiles. The tips of the missiles are done with just rubber, so they're soft. What you want to do is you want to plug them into this cannon, and they just snap into place. And then you take this backpack piece and you attach the cannon to the side of it. There's a hole here, and you just plug this into the side. And then you can put the backpack piece on the figure. You want to take the hood and his lightsaber off, but then you just slide it in so that it snaps onto his back like that. And then you can have him hold on to this handle piece, which does have some articulation. And then what you want to do is there's this button on the back, and you just push it and it fires the missiles. Moving on to the actual accessories that you see the characters use in the cartoon. So for Kanan, obviously this is Kanan in a Stormtrooper disguise. So he does actually have a removable Stormtrooper helmet. And the helmet's done with just a rubber type material and fits on the head pretty good. And then Kanan also comes with an Imperial blaster, and this is done with just black plastic. It's actually a rubbery type plastic, and it looks pretty typical of the Imperial blasters we see in this line. And then he also comes with his lightsaber. The blade is not removable on this. You've got the translucent blue blade, and then he's just got the silver, kind of grayish silver handle. So this version of Sabine comes with a removable helmet. The previous Sabine figure that we got in this line did not have the removable helmet, so that's nice. And again, the helmet's made with just kind of a rubber material. And the detailing on the helmet's pretty good. You've got the orange and the purple. You've got the viewfinder, but it's not articulated, and it's done with just a rubber type material. And then she also comes with her signature blasters, and these are done with a metallic type silver. And they look pretty true to what we see in the cartoon. She'll hold them in both hands, and then she also has working holsters. Now, I will say that they don't fit that great in the holster. They've fallen out a couple times while I've been like handling the figure, so just be wary of that they're not going to fit that tight in these gun holsters. Darth Maul comes with this hood, and it's done with a black rubber type material, and you see him wear this in the episode that he first appears in Rebels, which was like last year's season finale, if I remember correctly. and looks pretty good on the figure overall. And then he comes with this signature double-bladed lightsaber. You've got the semi-translucent red blades. The lightsabers, the blades are not removable, and you can't split the handle in the two halves. And then you've got this extra piece, which I don't recall why it's attached on there. I think it's episode specific, but I don't remember exactly why. But, you know, that does make it a little different looking than the original episode 1 lightsaber that he had. So finally we have the Inquisitor. Now this is the only figure that doesn't have an action feature accessory, though I guess technically you could put the rocket firing backpack that I showed you with Maul on this figure as well. But really it doesn't have any kind of action feature accessory. All the accessories that this figure come with are ones you actually see in the cartoon, which is nice. So she's got this face plate for her mask, and this is actually removable. It's done with a soft rubber type material, so I like that. Then also she has her signature lightsaber, the double-bladed lightsaber like we see all the Inquisitors have. And I will say that the handle is a little bit too thick for this figure to hold it well. Her hands are pretty tiny, so you can get it somewhat decently in her right hand, but it does have a tendency to kind of fall out of that hand. The fingers are just kind of a soft rubber material, so again, don't expect the figure to hold it too tightly. And then finally she comes with the little probe droid that you see her use in the cartoon, so you can actually attach the head of the probe droid on her back, which is cool, and just plugs in with a little peg. And it's just a little tiny thing done with black plastic, and it's got a little red dot on it. Again, this is like a little miniature probe droid that you see her use. She sends to scout ahead, so I like that. And then you get this little pair of legs you can attach the head to, so basically when the droid's deployed you want to attach it to these little legs. Now the legs are kind of soft rubber material, and on mine they seem to be a little bit bent out of shape, but still I think it's kind of cool that they included that. So for the figures themselves, starting with Kanan, I think these, all look pretty good. Basic paint applications, which is to be expected in this line. But I like the head sculpt on this Kanan figure. I think it looks pretty true to how the character looks in the cartoon. He's got the little shoulder pad that you see him wearing in the cartoon. I believe he wears this in the episode that actually has Princess Leia in it, if I remember correctly. And for the rest of the figure, it just looks like a basic Stormtrooper. Now with all these figures, you've just got the 5 basic points of articulation, so you can turn the heads and rotate the arms and move the legs back and forth, but that's it. Next up we have Sabine, and I think this is a pretty nice figure. Again, I like the head sculpt on this one. Looks pretty true to how the character does in the cartoon. She's got the multicolored hair, and then she's got the designs throughout her armor with the orange and the purple and everything, so I like that. The only thing I don't really like about this figure is her left arm is sculpted in a bent position, again because these figures don't have elbow joints, so I do find that a little bit annoying. But overall I think this is a pretty nice figure and is an improvement over the previous Sabine figure that we got in this line. Next up we have Darth Maul, and I think again they've done a good job with this one in capturing how the character looks in the cartoon. He's got the little bones that stick out of his head, and then he's got the red and black tattoos all throughout his body. He doesn't wear a shirt in the cartoon. He's got this strap that goes over his chest, and then he wears the black pants. But again, I like the detailing and everything on it. The paint applications are pretty solid. Again, especially for a line of this type, I think they've done a pretty good job with this figure. And then finally we have the Inquisitor, and I like this one as well. The only problem I have with this figure is they've given her, she has really tiny feet, so this figure does not stand on its own power, at least I've not been able to, and she doesn't even have peg holes, so really getting this figure to stand is a real challenge. You really have to kind of lean it up against something if you want it to stay standing. But overall I do like the look of it. I like the little probe droid feature that I mentioned before. She's got the Imperial symbol on her shoulders like you see in the cartoon. You've got this kind of glossy black on her chest, and then you've got the detailing with the red and white markings on her helmet. I like the face sculpt, and she's got that kind of yellowish skin, and she's got this skirt piece which is done with a vinyl type material, and then she's got the black boots. So out of the 4 figures, Sabine is the shortest. Kanan stands a little bit over 4 inches tall. Darth Maul a little bit under 4 inches tall. Sabine stands about 3 3/4 inches tall, and The Inquisitor stands a little bit under 4 inches if you count to the tip of her helmet. So here's a comparison with the regular Kanan figure, and you can see the Stormtrooper disguise one is a little bit taller, especially with the helmet on. Comparison with some just regular Stormtroopers. Here's a comparison with Cadet Ezra and then the Rebels version of Princess Leia. Now here's a comparison with Sabine and the first Sabine figure released in this line. Now one thing I do want to point out with this new Sabine figure is when she has her helmet on, you still see some of her hair sticking out the bottom, so the helmet doesn't totally cover her head entirely. And then here's a comparison of Sabine with her other Ghost Ship teammates. Here's a comparison of Darth Maul with an Episode 1 Darth Maul. And then here's a comparison of all the Inquisitors. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I like all of these figures. The only problem I have is like with the Inquisitor, she's very hard to get to stand up. And then, you know, some minor complaints like Sabine, her helmet doesn't totally cover her head. And I don't like the bent left arm on that one. But overall, I think if you've been collecting the Rebel figures in this line, these will be ones you'll definitely want to add to your collection. So these are hitting shelves now. We'll have a full image gallery up at JediInsider.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description below. And until next time, I'll catch you later.